G chord or the capo on the 2nd fret, just to make it easier to play and a little more snap when you strum and pick. So with the G chord, what I'm going to try to do is alternate the 6th string with the 4th string. And that is the 1 of the chord with the 5 of the chord. So that's actually the open 4th string is the 5. So, and you can also use the 3rd, depending. But what I'm going to try to do takes a little bit of discipline, because sometimes I don't really know. I'm not thinking about it, but what I'm going to do is alternate and then it's a little boring, right? So then you just put a strum between. And you give it a little snap to your strum. It's kind of a bluegrass country thing. There's no reason why you can't use the 3rd, and a lot of people do, or alternate the direction, go the 3rd to the 1st, see if I can do that. Or do the 5th and the 1st, the 1. Work, and sometimes you come into that, depending on where the song's going, into one of the notes or the other. But probably the most standard thing is to do the 6th string alternating with the 4th string. And of course, you could do different strums. Quarter time. Now, I'm holding down a C chord now. But the funny thing about a C chord is that the root note is on the 5th string instead of the 6th string. So if you want to start with the root note, you got to start on the 5th string, which is the 3rd fret, which is the C. So you have, if you were going to play the root 3rd and 5th, see if I got this right. Or you could go, if you play a C with a finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, you get a G note, which is, you can have the G note in the bass. And that's generally what people do. People don't generally go like first. You can go first, 1st, 3rd, 1st, 3rd. That's 5th, 4th. More likely, you're going to go, if you really want a bass note, you're going to go, that's the 1st and the 3rd of the chord, but you can go the 1st of the chord to the 5th in the bass. See if I can show what I'm doing here. I'm covering this note here. That G note is the, I'm calling it a G, it's not really not a G. That is the 5th of the chord. So you can go. And sometimes country players, they'll actually hammer onto that. And they won't hold the whole chord down. That's like a C. It's called a C with a G bass. C with /G. But G is in the chord, so you're not cheating, or it's not creating any strange chord. But they go, they take this finger and they bring it's hard to show. It gives you kind of a snappy sound. But I get lazy and I just hold it down all the time sometimes. And sometimes you can create a little more snap by giving a little less and more pressure. Of course, I'm cheating. I'm using another technique too. There's so many little ones. I'm kind of like I'm using the heel of my hand to kind of blunt the sound to get a little more of a snap. Of course, you don't have to do that. So if you go from the G to the C, doing that alternating, for some reason, instinctively, I went down, instead of going, I went, when I came back from the C chord. I don't know why I did that, but that seems to be what I do. So you can do it either way. Depends on the song. So now I'm looking at the D chord. And with the D chord, in a way you're lucky because you have these open strings. Like the D is the 4th string, the 1, and I believe this is the 5, is the A. So you go. So I'm not holding anything down. That's all because the 1 of the chord is here on the 4th string, open. And the 5, I believe that's the 5, the A is also open. If you look at the actual note you put down, the 1 is there. This is a major chord. And the 3 is on the E string, and the 5, which is the A, is on the 3rd string. And just as a side note, some people put their thumb over to pick up the 3rd. So, and I'm not recommending you do this because that's kind of a pain to start out with, but you can also go that 6th string, but I'm not going to recommend that. But you'll see people doing it, and you may wonder why. And I usually do cover it. I usually do bring my thumb over the top and get that 2nd fret, that F sharp, because it makes it so I can strum the whole chord without fear of hitting that E note, which doesn't fit. So it's kind of like a safety thing. Just do it out of habit now. So otherwise, I'm just going to go the 4th string alternating with the 5th string. course, the D is going to be helpful. If you want to play the D, A, and the G, but I'm not going to go into the A right now. I'm just going to pretend we're playing in G.